YouTube, what is going on? Crowder here, and I am bringing you every gun that I think you're going to need max level for Warzone 3, which comes out in a few days, so you can dominate the map on day one. Let's show you some builds. To be completely transparent really quick, this is the MCW. This is the gun that I'm going to show you, the loadout that I think that you need. But to be completely transparent really quick, I had a whole entire video made with all of these guns with really cool gameplay and music, and I deleted it, and it was too big of a file for the recycling bin, and it just got wiped out of my computer, and it's gone. So we're making this video in a little bit different of a style, but I still want to get this information out for you guys. And here is the gun that we're starting with, the MCW. As you can see, this gun has little recoil. It gives me a little bit of the Kilo vibes with the fact that it's pretty easy to shoot. Not going to be the strongest gun, but you're definitely going to be consistent with this one. And here is the loadout on your screen. Boom. This is what we're working with right here. We have this first off, the suppressor that I'm going to be using on most of my longer range guns. If you click into this, you can see that the recoil control, bullet velocity, and damage range is obviously very nice. If you click L2, you can see all these stats and stuff as well. That shows you everything that you need to know about these attachments are going for. So you can get very creative in the gunsmith for Warzone and for multiplayer and all that stuff. But I think this is probably going to be the best gun right now, or the best suppressor right now. So I'm using this. I'm rocking it with the Cyclone barrel. Again, some bullet velocity and range. It's not going to really hurt anything. Tac stance and hip fire doesn't really matter probably in Warzone 3. So we're going to be rocking this alongside of this sight. So now this sight is the interesting one. The Eagle Eye 2.5. You can see that when I was aiming in with this gun, the reticle is beautiful on it. There's a few others that I would probably say you can try out, but I think this is going to be the scope. It doesn't have a lot of visual recoil. It's a little bit better than that red dot, and that's what I'm kind of banking my money on for people to use off the day one. That's what I'll be using as well. And then I'm doing this heavy stock as well. Stocks in this game seem to do a lot when it comes to your recoil. You can see how much recoil it's helping me with that there, and that's really big in Warzone, especially for those longer range fights and a gun that you want to be consistent with. And then we have the 60-round drum. So overall, this gun feels really good. I'm liking this gun. This is probably going to be my #1 gun I start with, but all the weapons in this video are all on an even playing field of what you guys think. I'm just showing you guys what I think, you know, should be leveled up if you have a last couple days where you're trying to focus on certain guns to help you out. Let's move on to gun #2. Gun #2 is going to be the Swarm, and if you shoot at these bots, the recoil on it's not terrible. It's not great. It's a little bit shaky, but a lot of your weapon gunfights that are using an SMG with all happen in Warzone around that 5 to 10 meter mark, right? A lot of in-house fights, staircases, and all that good stuff. So you can see right now, that bot is so far away that really most of my fights with this gun are going to be here to here. Pretty close, pretty easy, and this gun has probably one of the fastest time to kills at that 5 meter range in multiplayer. So I think this gun's going to be really good. It's a little bit slower because you have to do a lot of attachments on it to, you know, mess with the recoil. But overall, I'm going to bank here that this is one of the better SMGs, probably a top 3 SMG, if not the best. Here is the loadout now. So this one, we have the L4R flash hider. This is a really good attachment. I'm thinking that, you know, it's not going to be the best maybe with red dots in the minimap. I'm not sure if you're going to come up on the minimap with this one. I don't even know. I actually can be wrong. I'm not 100%. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But in general, this is going to help a lot with recoil. I wouldn't even care if I came up in the minimap with the red dot when I'm shooting an SMG in Warzone. That's besides the point. But you can see the stats here. It helps a lot with recoil, and it doesn't really hurt your ADS that much. So I think it's worth trying out. I have the long barrel on it right now just to give it a little bit more of that effective damage range. At that 6 meter mark, you can see that 32% is going to help you out a lot, which again is where a lot of your gunfights happen. So you want the strongest weapon up to around 6 to 10 meters. This one goes up to 6. I think it's pretty good. And then you have the Bruen pivotal vertical grip. This is where this gun kind of starts to slow down with your ADS speed and other things, but this gun has a lot of recoil, so you're probably going to need something that kind of counteract that. So this won't be the fastest moving sub, but it will be very, very good in general to get quick kills and kill your enemy, as well as being able to just like handle some recoil. So I think this is going to be a pretty good one. I don't know if it's going to be clear-cut #1, but I think it's going to be top 3. And, well, I mean, there's only 6 SMGs in MW3, but you know what I mean. And regardless, that I'm using this stock again, a lot of recoil control, a lot of help. This is my build for this one. I recommend you trying this. And, of course, right here on your screen, you also have the multiplayer version of this that I've been using if you want to try to use that to kind of level it up. But, again, overall, I'll give you some of those multiplayer loadouts because that was a part of the last video that I deleted. But, yeah, moving on to #3. And that #3 is the Bruen. So this Bruen right here, it's going to have a little bit more kick than your typical MCW kind of build, but not unmanageable. And we all know how good the Bruen was in Warzone 1. It was probably one of the craziest metas we've ever seen. It was really, really strong. People actually like this Bruen meta. It seems a lot of people in the comments of some of my other videos were saying how good and how much they missed the Bruen. So this might be a gun for you. LMG, going to hit strong, going to be a lot stronger than the MCW. Going to be a little bit harder to control, but overall, this build is still pretty good. And here's the loadout. This loadout is going to be, again, probably the best you can do for recoil. The only thing that's different, you're using the same suppressor, you're using that same scope. I'm actually putting on the 60 round to make this LMG a little bit faster. Usually LMG is the reason why they kind of stink, is because they're really, really slow and they hit hard, but they are extremely slow, like I just said. But with this one, you're going to be able to speed it up and make it feel like an AR, and that's why the Bruen is usually so good in Warzone. With the Bruen heavy support grip, this does a lot of recoil help as well. This vertical is only 4%, but a lot of horizontal and gun kick. I do think it's worth it. It doesn't hurt your ADS too much in a Warzone sense. And then, of course, the barrel, too. Bullet velocity is always going to be important. You can almost get that bullet velocity up to 1,000, which is 944 here. So if you round up from that, that wouldn't make sense. You should technically round down. But you know my point. It's going to be good. It's going to have good bullet velocity. Going to have a really, really good time to kill, most likely. Definitely worth a try. Keep it in mind. Moving on to gun number 4. You can see this big sniper thing in my hands right now. I am not 100% sure how they're going to do sniping this year. I don't know if they're going to listen to the one-shot snipers, but if there is one gun that gives you a one-shot sniper headshot, it is going to be this Cat AMR sniper. This is more of your traditional sniping experience. You're not going to be quick-scoping people like you had the Car 98, but you will be able to have that traditional sniper feeling with this if they have that one-shot headshot. I think this is going to be really good, and it's going to have crazy bullet velocity. This is the loadouts that I was rocking, and yeah, this is what I was using. I mean, again, you can go to this barrel. You can just see that you're going to have a lot of bullet velocity on this one. It should be a pretty good, one-shot headshot range. I'm hoping around that, like, 120 meters. That's a one-shot headshot. That's what I'm praying for. I haven't seen too much information. If you have seen some information on it, feel free to, comment below and let us know. But overall, I do think that this is probably going to be the sniper to use. The other semi-automatic snipers aren't going to be bad either. I'm sure they're going to be really usable as well. But I think this will just give you the true sniper experience. And if you're a real sniper that you really like to have that kind of play style, I think this one's going to be for you. Personally speaking, this is also something that I love. I love sniping and actually having the bolt action sniper and everything about it. That's why I'm putting in this video. I do think this gun is going to be good. I'm really hoping for. The way I think they're going to balance snipers in general is by the semi-automatic snipers not being a one-shot headshot, where this one would be. So at least there's some kind of trade-off. But Call of Duty has done some crazy things in the past, so we don't really know. But yeah, that's the sniper build. We're moving on to the next weapon. And that weapon is going to be the Striker. You can see here on your screen, this is a gun that I don't think is going to be better than the Swarm up close. It won't have a better time to kill, most likely. But it's going to have a range that's probably almost double the Swarm. And this gun doesn't have a lot of recoil. I'm thinking this is like a sniper's best friend. You know, that easier gun to use, a little bit more consistent than the Swarm, less recoil. But you are going to be able to have a little bit more range. So you're not going to be as, super aggressive with this gun, but you are going to be able to have the sniper support range. This is going to be something that's really fun to use. I think a lot of you guys that are watching this video actually might want to start with this gun over the Swarm for the reason that it's just a little bit more consistent. And overall, when I'm playing Warzone, and I feel like a lot of the people that comment on my videos, you want to be consistent. You don't always have to use the super sweaty meta that you have to hit your shots with to get the kill at the fastest time to kill. You can also just use guns that you're more consistent with, where you can trust yourself to hit shots. And you can see that's a 50-meter shot right there, and it's not that hard with this weapon. So I'm going to show you the loadout right now, and here it is. It is going to be the flash hider, the hand stop, the Striker long barrel. The stock right here is interesting because when you add this stock, right, it gives you a lot of gunfire control and all that stuff. Gun kick by 24% and all that stuff. It slows your movement down a little bit, but not too much. So I think it'd still be worth it. But in general, this allows you to not put on a rear grip, and it gives you that option to put on a hand stop. You can put on ammunition. You can put hollow point on. You can put a laser on. You can put an optic on. And you still have that extended mag option with 60 and 48 round mag. So this is something where, again, you can be a little bit more flexible with that stock. It's kind of nice to have. And just overall, I think it's going to be a pretty good gun. So I'd recommend getting this one leveled up if you haven't. I'm sure you guys have used this one already. But again, multiplayer loadout is going to continuously show on your screen for these first 5. And then hopefully those help you out too if you just want some of that. But let's move on to our next weapon. I think you're going to like this one. And the reason why I think you're going to like this one is this Rival 9 is probably going to be one of the builds that a lot of people, probably choose off the break. And the reason why is most pro players in the CDL right now are using the Rival 9. They're not using this build, but they are using the Rival 9 in general. And the reason why is because this thing's time to kill is really good. The recoil is really good. And just in general, it shoots fast. It feels like a sub, and it just has a really good just overall presence. So this might be the #1 sub. If I could take a guess, it's going to be this or the Swarm. I do think this might actually beat out the Swarm because it still has a faster time to kill at like the 10-meter range, and it's not that much slower than the Swarm at that 5-meter range. So in general, this gun is going to be pretty good, and I'm going to show you the loadout right now. here you go. We're rocking that same flash hider. Now, a lot of the times when pro players or even myself, my multiplayer loadout, I'm using like that purifier muzzle. Just to give you a quick clarification, the reason why is this actually takes away your bullet velocity and range. And in Warzone, I actually think that matters a little bit. The bullet velocity, not too much, but the range in Warzone, a lot of your SMG fights are all going to be within that 5 to 10 meter mark, like I was saying. In multiplayer, you can actually kind of ego chow with subs a little bit more. And with this, you really can't. And you can see that this takes 10% range off of it. So you're kind of taking all the way down to 9 meters instead of like that 10 meters range. And that could really, really matter. So I think in general, I probably wouldn't be using these muzzles right now because I think you could still get away with the flash hider helping you out. And the flash hider doesn't hurt that ADS. And then overall, everything else here is just going to be nice. I'm not using the barrel that I would probably be using in multiplayer again because you're not ego challenging as much in Warzone. Because if you ego challenge someone with a sub in Warzone at 70 meters, you're just going to die. Where in this, a lot of the times, you don't need that extra. Like, I think this barrel, if you put the clear shot on, yeah, it gives you 12%. So it goes from 10, like around that 10 meter to 11.4, which isn't bad. And that could definitely matter. But I think once you hit that 10 meter range, I think you're in a pretty good spot when it comes to the time to kill threshold and all of that. So I don't think that barrel is necessary on a class like that because you get rid of that barrel and then obviously you throw in the 50 round drum. And that's way more important with the amount of health that you have in Warzone. So this is my rival build. I recommend you guys try this one out for day one. If you haven't, make sure you use this gun. I think you'll like it a lot. And let's move on to the next one. Now, I think this next one is going to be a, fan favorite here. I think a lot of comments in my videos have been telling me how good this gun is. I haven't really given it a fair chance too much in multiplayer. I've used it a good amount. It was very good. But this reminds me of like an AMAX type of thing. I know this is a battle rifle. This is the BAS-B, and it's obviously a battle rifle. It's not an assault rifle, and I'm not comparing it to the AMAX in any kind of way of that. The thing that reminds me of the AMAX is this gun's going to have a little bit of kick. I'm not going to lie. This is going to have some recoil. You can see right now that I'm using it. But if you can control the kick, it's probably going to have the fastest time to kill, if I could take a guess, compared to like the MCW or maybe even that Bruen. So this thing might be insane if you have really good aim or if you just want to keep it at that medium range. But overall, it's dropping people fast in multiplayer. I think it's going to drop people fast in Warzone if you can control the recoil. And I'm going to show you the build to kind of have the best attachments for the recoil on day one. Here you go. These are the attachments I'm rocking. Again, I do think suppressors are going to be very, very important when it comes to just having that silenced ability with an AR, being on the minimap and all that stuff in Warzone. Again, these are also just guesses. This could be wrong and this could be right. I just think right now, the way Warzone and MW3 is playing out and everything they're announcing, I do think these are going to be really, really important. So I'm rocking that suppressor still. The Bruen vertical grip, again, helps you recoil out a lot. Same scope, 45 round mag. This gun's going to be pretty strong. That's perfect. That's the most that you can have anyway. And then, of course, you have this grip to help you with your firing, aim stability, gun kick control, and recoil control. You can probably switch this out with a stock if you'd like. But again, I do think this is going to be a really, really good gun. And since it doesn't have the most recoil, I actually probably recommend this rear grip over a barrel just because the rear grip's going to help you out a little bit. But if you guys have better BAS builds, please drop them below. I know you guys love this gun, and I had to put this one in there because I do think this is a very, very good weapon. A lot of people seem to like it in MW3. And with that being said, let me show you the last weapon I would recommend for you guys on day one of Warzone. And that is going to be the Hoger. So you can see here, this is like the #1 AR right now. Pro Call of Duty players have banned it. This is another like AMAX situation, I'd say, where this gun's going to hit harder. It's definitely going to drop people a little bit faster than that MCW. But at the end of the day, it's going to have more recoil, right? And there's going to be that trade-off. If you're a super sweaty player, you might want to try this gun. But there's also that world where the MCW might just be a little bit more consistent at that longer range in Warzone. And that's going to be something that we really, really like. So I don't know what I'm going to use yet. I'm really feeling that I'm going to use the Swarm or Rival with the MCW. Those are going to be my choices on the day one just to try out. But I'm going to give a bunch of guns to try. Obviously, I'm going to be making YouTube videos. We're going to be commenting and a bunch of other stuff about builds and all that. So I'm sure we'll figure it out as we all go on. But, I'm just here to make videos for you guys and continuously update you on tips and tricks, as well as just keep you guys entertained with some gameplay videos as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Again, I had a way better video made than this one, but unfortunately I deleted it and it's just gone forever. And I'm still really sad about it because I had it fully edited. I spent like 10 hours on the video and it's just gone. But anyway, I made this video because I still wanted to get the info out there. So hopefully you enjoyed this style of video. You got the information you need. This is the Hoger build that I was rocking right there. And that is every gun that I would recommend if you were trying to get, just ahead on day one. If you're not obviously going to be able to get Interstellar like I was able to, and you want to just get specific guns done, I think if you have those guns I just showed you done, I think you'll be fine on day one and obviously the first week of Warzone. So with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and a subscription. We are so close to that 100K mark right now, and I appreciate everyone that supports the channel. And as always, it's been your boy Crowder. I appreciate you guys being here, and I will see you guys next video. Peace.